How is this war different from all other wars? What's the call of the hour in the waiting for 30 plus years? The naked truth. The time is of essence here because as I speak, our holy soldiers are fighting the mother of all wars, good versus evil, and I simply can't stand in silence because according to Torah, it's a sin to stand idly by the blood of your brother. TAAMOD al Dum RE'ACHA. We are fighting the war called Swords of Iron, which seems like the opposite of joyously prophetic announcements of redemption of King Moshiach Lubavicher Rebbe, where he told us in 1991 that not only we witness the fulfillment of Isaiah's prophecy, they will beat their swords into plowshares, not only we reach the time of redemption, but Mashiach is here and fully revealed. Nothing stands in the way of Geula, from the word Giluy, revelation of Aleph, Alufa Shel Olam, master of the world, in Geula Giluy or exile. But true and complete redemption is actually here in a simple sense, and all we need to do is to open the eyes by gratefully acknowledging this prophetic truth. Instead, we're witnessing seemingly the opposite of the above prophecies. The plowshares turned into swords of iron with full-blown war. What has really happened in between 1991 and now? The truth revealed in this video either will shake you to the core and change you into the joyous announcer of redemption so that you will dare to share this truth if you care, or you will continue to dream your dream of Galut exile, postponing the inevitable because God put us in the situation when we find no solution to a problem. It's probably not a problem to be solved, but rather a truth to be accepted. So what's this naked truth? Many years ago, famous American author Elie Wiesel came to a private audience with the Lubavitcher Rebbe. As he left the office, the author turned to the Rebbe's disciples and accused them. You are thieves, stealing from everyone. You have taken this man for your own, but he is the leader of the entire world. Today we hear and see a lot of information about Lubavitcher Rebbe, then without a title of King Moshiach, and his amazing prophecies and instructions during previous Israeli wars, as if nothing, absolutely nothing, happened in 1990, when during the Gulf War he clearly told us that we were witnessing the prophecy of my humble ones, don't fear, the time of your redemption has arrived. Higi azman geulatchem. And then in 91-92, hundreds of rabbis worldwide signed Torah ruling Psak Din, proclaiming the Lubavitcher Rebbe, King Moshiach, and the prophet of the generation. According to Torah, when a ruling of Torah law is made, it establishes true and permanent reality in the world. At that point, he literally bombarded us by the most mind-blowing, joyous announcements of redemption, Besurat HaGeula, and updated us that not only we reached the time of redemption, but Geula is here and now literally. Here is direct quote. The most essential matter is to bring about true and complete redemption. And in order for God to achieve this goal, he needs, as if it were, the participation of every Jew. This means living Jews, souls within bodies. The redemption comes through our deeds and efforts, and it depends, as if it were, on the Jewish person's consent, desire, and proclamation that not only has the time for your redemption arrived, but that the redemption is actually here, literally speaking. As mentioned above, Geula, redemption, is cognate to the term Giluy, revelation, and is in reference to the revelation of Master of the world within Geula, exile. It is the effort of the Jews in exile that brings this about. So it's up to you and me, the living Jews, souls in the bodies, and not to those that were killed in the war of swords or iron, to gratefully acknowledge this prophetic truth, so that death could be swallowed forever and God could wipe the tears from all the faces, all the living. Bila hamavet lanetzach, umacha Hashem dima me'al kol panim. With the resurrection of the dead, tchiyat hamitim, and everlasting life, chaim nitzchim, with tranquility, joy, and pleasure for the whole world. But just like in the case of King Moshiach, who was chosen by God and anointed by Shmuel the prophet, but was met with a lot of resistance and opposition, including from his own family, and didn't establish his kingship until 7 years later, when the people finally accepted him as a king, the Lubavitcher Rebbe, who was also met with a lot of opposition from some of his own followers, needed to establish the everlasting kingship of Mashiach in this physical world. So he charged us with this holy and final mission of Kabbalat Pnei Mashiach, welcoming, greeting, and most of all accepting King Mashiach, because Ein Melech Belo Am, there is no king without a people. As this final campaign was gaining momentum, so that Mashiach could get a green light from us, his subjects, to enable him to finish his mission, the impossible happened. In 1994, on Gimel Tammuz, the third of month of Tammuz, our eyes, and I repeat, only our eyes, saw what seemed to be his funeral. For some of his close followers, the test of faith in God and trust into his faithful servant and messenger, King Moshiach Lubavicher Rebbe, and his prophetic announcements of redemption, turned out to be too much to handle. And for various reasons, this small bunch of imposters managed to hijack the whole powerful Jewish network, the most powerful Jewish network in the world, Chabad Lubavitch, from its final mission of accepting the Rebbe as King Moshiach and publicizing his prophetic announcement of redemption to the whole world. Literally overnight, the Lubavitcher Rebbe was stripped of his rightful title of King Moshiach, the crown was stolen, and they managed to lead the silent majority into continuing business as usual, bringing some unidentified Mashiach and future redemption. Majority of Chabad, except for some loyal and stubborn fringe minority, was also silent in 2005, when Gush Katif was given away, contrary to clear and undisputed policy of King Moshiach Lubavicher Rebbe, no land for peace. And we see the results of this sinful silence so clearly today. And again, no outcry and total silence regarding the acceptance of the Lubavitcher Rebbe as King Moshiach and his joyously prophetic announcement of redemption. Even now, after the massacres of the 7th of October, this silence is a grave sin, because Torah says, Al TAAMOD AL DUM RE'ACHA, don't stand idly by the blood of your brother. God speaks to us through the events, especially when those occurrences are of global proportions. So heavens waited until 2020, until by divine providence, coronavirus came into the world. What could be a bigger sign, a clear writing on the wall with the name Corona Crown, that would wake up those aware of announcements of redemption to realize that heaven demand the return of the crown to its rightful owner, King Moshiach Lubavicher Rebbe. But again, it went almost unnoticed, and Chabad again was busy with false flags of vaccinations, not the spiritual cause of that cosmic event. Then came the war in Ukraine, which seems to contradict completely the announcement of redemption, of they beat their swords into plowshares. Again, the writing was on the wall, but as it says in Psalms, they have eyes but don't see, they have ears but don't hear. And now, everything regarding King Moshiach Lubavicher Rebbe and his joyously prophetic announcement of redemption seems to go south because of swords of iron, when plowshares seem to turn back into swords. This is not the time to stay silent by the blood of your brothers, full of doubts, fears, and reservations, Quite to the contrary, this is exactly the time to rely on Prophet's holy words, align with his absolute truth by accepting him as King Moshiach with Yehi Adoneinu Mareinu V'Rabbeinu Melech HaMashiach Li'olam Va'ed. Long live our Master, our Teacher, our Rebbe, King Moshiach, forever and ever, and gratefully acknowledging Geula here and now, so that together with God we can finally manifest the reality where there is not even a need for war, and we can bring our captives and soldiers back home unharmed, and the world can be redeemed once and for all with the revelation Giluy of God in His full glory. Learning Torah and fulfilling its commandments with intention, kavanah, to bring Mashiach and redemption is like using old keys to open new doors, or outdated email address. That's why they're not working to manifest Mashiach and Geula. They need to be updated to the latest version, the new Torah, Torah Hadasha, namely announcement of redemption of King Moshiach Lubavicher Rebbe. So don't be surprised if your prayers are going unanswered. You're using old Galut keys and exile email address, which are not aligned with the true reality of Geula, because through all of his leadership, King Moshiach Lubavicher Rebbe told us we're the last generation of Galut exile and the first generation of Geula redemption. And it's up to you and me which one we co-create together with God. The choice is yours, is to remain the silent addict of Galut exile but continue business as usual, your business as usual of Mashiach on the way, which you did for the last 30 years and got nowhere. Or you can agree with God, desire at will, and proclaim the joyously prophetic truth of King Moshiach Lubavicher Rebbe that Geula is here and now, and break your Galut addiction by redeeming yourself, the hostages, the soldiers, the silent majority, and the whole world in the most simple, tranquil, joyous, and pleasurable way possible as the Prophet instructed and guaranteed. Don't rely on the army, the special forces, the government, other countries, or even God and Mashiach himself to do it for you. You were told by King Moshiach Lubavicher Rebbe that it's your role as a Jew, that's what you were created for, and this fact alone makes your mission, this mission possible, because Geula is not happening to you, but through you. At the very beginning of his leadership as Lubavitcher Rebbe back in 1951, he told us direct quote, "It is certain that the Rebbe's intention will be carried out, regardless of what we do. Yet, in order that it should be in a manner of kindness and mercy, we must exert ourselves and do that which the Rebbe requires and demands of us." End of quote. The time is of essence. Our holy soldiers are on the battlefield as I speak, endangering their very lives. Who and what are you waiting for when it all depends on you and you alone to accomplish your holy mission by making God's will into yours? When we trust the prophet of the generation, totally relying on his holy words to finally do the call of the hour in the waiting for 30 plus years, we'll see the swords beaten into plowshares instantly, without any war and bloodshed, in a matter of kindness and mercy. It's a promise and guarantee from God and his messenger King Moshiach Lubavicher Rebbe. The prophet told us, have no fear, let's celebrate Mashiach's here. Forget the tension and live redemption. Let's celebrate, no worries, mate. Forget the fear. Geula's here. Let's dance and sing. Long live the King. The prophet told us, have no tension. Let's celebrate and live redemption. Forget the fear. Mashiach's here. Let's celebrate, no worries, mate. Forget the tension and live redemption. Long live the King. Long live the king. Let's dance and sing. Long live. Good morning. It's the 1st of October, 2023. It's Geula, redemption time. תודה לך על הגאולה האמיתית והשלמה, על הבריאות והשירות ועל שלום בכל עולם, על הבריאות והשירות ועל שלום בכל עולם. Thank you for true, complete redemption. Thank you for health and wealth, no tension. Forget the fear, Geula's here. Let's celebrate, no worries made. Forget the tension and live redemption. Let's dance and sing. Long live the king. Thank you for true, complete redemption. Thank you for health and wealth, no tension. Total abundance overall, and for the peaceful, blissful world. Total abundance overall, and for the peaceful, blissful world. Благодарю тебя за Геулу, правдивую и полную, за здравие, за изобилие, и миру мир на всей по всей земле. За здравие, за изобилие, и миру мир на всей по всей земле.